On today's episode, I want to do something a little different and actually take a look at a television pilot, more specifically the cold open that went on to kickstart what became my favorite season of TV of all time. Fargo, based on the film by Joel and Ethan Coen, episode 101, script by Noah Hawley. Spoilers ahead. The following text fades in over black. This is a true story. The events depicted took place in Minnesota in 2006. At the request of the survivors, the names have been changed. Out of respect for the dead, the rest has been told exactly as it occurred. Flare to white. Exterior, 2-lane highway, rural Minnesota. Day. The white becomes snowfall, a blizzard. Through it, we can make out a 2-lane road. A car emerges from the snow, rust-spotted, chains on the tires, coming towards us. Cut to interior car, traveling, day. Lorne Malvo, age unknown, birthplace unknown, sits behind the wheel, his breath white with frost. If he minds, he doesn't show it. As he drives, we become aware of thumping coming from inside the trunk, as if someone is in there who doesn't want to be. Malvo ignores it. A deer appears in the road ahead of him. Malvo turns too late, hits it. The car skids off the road, rolls twice, the trunk popping open before coming to rest on its wheels. Beat. A man emerges from the trunk wearing only underwear. He is stunned from the crash, but sound enough of mind to know this is his chance. As we watch, he lopes off through waist-deep snow, making for the tree line. Beat. The driver's door opens. Slowly, Malvo climbs out. His head is bleeding where it hit the windshield. He stands unsteadily in the snow, getting his bearings. Angle on the other man, loping off through the snow. Malvo could catch him if he tried, but he makes no attempt. Instead, he walks into the center of the road where the deer lays on its side, struggling to get up. 3 of its 4 legs are broken, but still, it fights for life. Malvo stands over the wounded animal, looking down. Close up on the deer, its eyes wild, blood bubbles foaming from its nose and mouth, mortally wounded. Close up on Malvo, studying its eyes. What does he see in there? We begin to hear a strange, throbbing, churning sound, half animal, half machine. From there, we ascend from a homely dungeon and into marital bliss, where we meet a pair of divorce candidates having a contentious meal, seemingly a common occurrence.
Guess I married the wrong Nygaard.
Oh.
And herein lies Lester Nygaard, a middling life insurance salesman who Noah describes as the kind of guy who apologizes when you step on his foot.
Okay.
The chatterbox on the opposing end of this match made in heaven is Pearl, his unsatisfied lover, made clear by her cutting remarks.
You gotta try harder, hun. Smile for Pete's sake.
And what became one of my favorite expository back and forths from the show.
Maybe wear a nicer tie.
You gave me this tie.
Well, if you were a better salesman, I'd have bought you a nicer tie.
And on the heels of another fruitless day on the clock, this creamsicle has an impromptu high school reunion with Sam, a longtime braggadocious bully who had this to say about Lester's missus.
You know, she gave me a tug once. Homecoming, senior year.
Just before, and I don't mean to be punny, I am sorry, I apologize, rubbing it in his face. After all of his apparent cowering and lifelong turtling, Lester ends up at the hospital.
Oh, what a day.
And, as fate would have it, finds himself face-to-face with Lorne Malvo, sharing a soda and his sob story.
If that were me, in your position, I would have killed that man.
Come on.
And being the charitable contract killer that he is, floats a favor on the house.
Heck, you're so sure about it. Maybe you should just kill him for me.
So, Lorne finds Mr. Hess and makes quick work of him.
Oh, jeez, where?
And once Lester and this sleepy small town get wind of Sam's exploration, Lorne doubles down on his worldview.
How do you figure?
The shit they make us eat. Day after day. The boss, the wife, etc. Wearing us down. If you don't stand up to it, let them know you're still an ape. Deep down where it counts, you're just gonna get washed away.
And not long after that tipping point, part 2 of the inciting incident takes place in the billowing basement where Lester tries to retort Pearl's belittling by asserting his masculinity and fixing the long overdue thorn in their side.
Killed my washing machine.
No,
It's a red tide, Lester. This life of ours.
The tide. You know, I was standing up to
We used to be gorillas. All we had is what we could take and defend. The truth is, you're more of a man today than you were yesterday.
I was being a man.
By way of Malvo's illuminating stance, this is yet another example of how Lester has continuously fallen victim to peer pressure. Only this time it was
Savagery, pure and simple.
Oh, you gonna hit me?
in the wake of all this sudden carnage, we meet a pair of law-abiding citizens trying to right the ship.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir.
At the tip of the spear is the police chief, a quiet, confident cowboy type who is inadvertently mentoring Molly, a rising star and ethical eye in the sky.
Some good police work there, Deputy.
Oh, thanks.
And while our duo investigates this onslaught of bloodshed, that little old puffer jacket is now trying to weasel his way out of prison by luring Lorne into his lair to blame and frame.
If anyone could shoot themselves in the face with an unloaded firearm, it's you.
But first on the scene is our beloved father-to-be, following the lead of witness testimony that put Lester and Lorne in the same place right before Sam Hess got butchered. And things go south, as they so often and inevitably do when people snap and panic.
Chief Thurman, I'm at 613 Willow Creek Drive.
At the cliffhanger, we're left with a frozen John Doe, a dead douchebag, a bludgeoned ex-wife, a bloodied badge, a newfound widow and single mom, and two killers still on the loose, leaving a sobered Molly with big shoes to fill. And then, as it were, we fade to white and we're off to the races. Now, if you want a recap of the other 9 parables, you can borrow my Blu-ray, or you can check it out on Hulu via FX. All right, before we carry on any further, just take a little time out for some contextual clarifiers. This show is not a remake or sequel to the OG.
That's a surprise.
However, there was a pilot made in 1997 that was a continuation of the film despite any involvement from the Coens or the original cast,
That's pretty darn brazen.
outside of the deputy's sidekick, Lou.
Oh, geez.
And even though it was directed by the on-screen queen, Kathy Bates,
What you've written just isn't fair.
the series was not picked up and it didn't hit the airwaves until 2003. On the other hand, Noah's 2014 version germinated into an anthology series that takes place in the same darkly comedic cosmos of the 96 classic,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
sharing in some connective tissue and similar archetypes to its founding father,
Can you be any more specific?
most notably the buried briefcase full of money.
People accept that it's its own thing, and then there's the fun of the connection.
For instance, mirroring the holy trinity of lead characters. Enter Death Incarnate,
He's a peculiar man. Might even say he has principles.
arguably comparable to the consequence of a trigger-happy haircut in No Country.
Second.
I didn't know where he came from or why. I don't know if he was dream or vision.
A man like that, he's not gonna stop.
You know, I like to joke we're making No Country for Old Fargo.
It's a red tide, Lester. This life of ours.
It's the dismal tide. It is not the one thing. Not the one thing.
So we have that tension, we have the suspense from that movie combined with the regional humor and the examination of the polite society that the original movie takes on.
Now, contrast the Slim Reaper with a passive, bumbling bozo on the verge of a murderous midlife crisis, instead of just getting a motorcycle, like most American afterthoughts.
Come on, that's not how I may or may not be feeling.
And then, to round out and restore order, you have your moral compass in Marge and Molly.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
The Oscar goes to Frances McDormand and Fargo!
While being a kindred spirit and its own entity entirely, the series also respectfully and subtly lands motifs, nods, and Easter eggs to the Coens' storied filmography.
My name is LaBeef.
There's a lot that I play with and all of those homages that are built into the storytelling that are similar but different. And it's a way to play with expectation and memory.
All right. Nope.
And I'm sure that for people who are like real Coen buffs, there will be even more that I didn't even notice.
What? We stop at Pancake Size.
Pancakes.
What creator and showrunner Noah Hawley got to do in basically using the cinematic universe of the Coen brothers as IP gave him an abundance of riches. And in my opinion, I think he spent it very wisely.
Bingo!
Noah didn't fear walking in the Coens' footsteps. He was rewarded when Joel and Ethan read the very first hour that Noah ever wrote.
And they said, look, we hate imitation, but it really felt like you were channeling us.
Yes, thank you.
Let's see some of these beautiful voices in action. Roll tape.
I think we forced them to watch the cut of the first hour because we knew we'd be asked. And I know at least Ethan watched it, and he said, yeah, good. Like, that was high praise from them.
Would it kill you to say something?
A fitting tidbit about this brief blessing towards Noah's iteration is that the Coens, known for being men of few words, were given a similarly short endorsement when they screened No Country for novelist Cormac McCarthy.
I heard him chuckle a couple of times. I took that as the seal of approval. I don't know, maybe presumptuously.
He didn't yell at us.
All things considered, when No Country won Best Picture in 2008, Cormac did offer a standing ovation.
Ethan Coen and Joel Coen producers.
Which is but a fraction as to why Noah eloquently penned in his 448-page companion piece about the pitching and making of the show, for Joel and Ethan, those are some giant shoulders. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Anywho, Mr. Hawley takes a fictitious play out of the Coens' playbook by copying the introductory text from the movie, claiming that this is a true story.
But appearances can be deceptive.
But if you didn't already know, neither the movie or the show are necessarily based on any real events. It's just a fantastic fib, leaning into the gullibility and willingness of the audience to accept absurdity.
Okay.
It does an interesting thing, right? Which is the moment that you say something is true, that it really happened, then things like coincidence and randomness are available to you.
The heck do you mean? I said, guys, it says at the beginning of the script, based on a true story. He said, yeah, well, it's not. I said, you can't do that. They said, why not?
It's funny we did that. We said, in effect, see how terrible people are. This is actually based on a true story.
It's shameful.
Truth be told, Fargo wasn't their first or last on-screen fabrication.
No.
Though the duo has edited most of their filmography, giving themselves credit for the cut was apparently one too many titles due to all the other hats they routinely wear.
What presumption!
So, they created an alias, Roderick Jaynes, and that random pseudonym has sort of become an inside joke within the industry, despite being nominated twice at the Oscars for Best Editing.
What is it you represent, you think, in the film world?
You know, I'm not sure we represent anything. We play sort of in our corner of the sandbox.
That's a tough racket. My hat's off to anyone that can make a go of it.
Reminiscent of their beautifully bizarre body of work, along with the title of this episode, The Crocodile's Dilemma, they themselves are a paradox, similar to the atmospheric starting line of this series.
And action!
The key component that does it for me is how it nonchalantly grants us a purview into how cruel and unforgiving nature, and even more so, human nature, is.
Okay.
Like the character himself, the author plays it close to the vest.
Early on, there was something in the writing that told me this guy was just sort of a ghost. It's like, is he real or not?
That depends. Do you see me?
This vague description of age unknown, birthplace unknown, tells us nothing and everything at the same time.
We don't need to know everything about Anton Chigurh because that's his power.
It's as evocative and eerily cryptic as the name Cormac gave to Anton Chigurh.
You know, it was a name that he came up with intentionally to confound any attempts to trace it ethnically or even in pronunciation. He wanted it to be completely alien.
Just how dangerous is he?
Compared to what? The bubonic plague?
And in the context of an off-center thriller such as this, that's the sweet spot.
Is that right?
But instead of asking why did the chicken cross the road, Noah poses a more realistic and dangerous scenario. And in said scene, the hitman we'd come to know as frequently being the surprise is surprised, literally taken off course and thrown for a loop. And then the cat is out of the bag, so to speak, and he escapes on foot. And FYI, they do tie up the loose ends about this bygone foot soldier in a future episode. But at the moment, the relevance is on the shoulders of this master planner, master manipulator, and apex predator.
Aces. Marilyn here, she says you're the best. Says you're aces.
And this little nugget right here, this singular sentence, is one of the key components that unlocked the character for me. Malvo could catch him if he tried, but makes no attempt. Based on this account, Lauren's demeanor reveals that he's familiar enough to know that neither one of them are going to make it. his unshaken response to the wreck also reflects the fact that he's willing to make a pit stop for a wounded animal, even if he looks down with some sort of pity on it, hence his soon-to-be affiliation with the flagship Minnesotan, embodied by the Englishman Martin Freeman.
I guess the first real scene or moment that I thought of was two men in the emergency room, and one of them was a very civilized man, and the other was a very uncivilized man.
But you're not a man, Lester. You're not even half a man.
I always saw it as an infection, that Malvo infects Lester in some way from that first meeting that will then carry its way through the remainder of the 10 hours.
Of note, in continuity with this visual and metaphorical representation, the action at the top of page 2 that transitions us from the cold open and into the belly of the beast is not only the account of the dying deer, or the execution of the chief, which mirrors the buck. It also stealthily foreshadows Malvo's own snarling death in the season finale at the gun-wielding hands of Tom Hanks' firstborn child, Colin. Like the deer, he's a wounded animal. But instead, Lorne doesn't take it lying down.
There's a simple morality in Coen Brothers movies. If you transgress, you will be punished. So much of what Fargo is for me is like, oh, that's awful. Like, we should do that. But it's that line between horror and comedy, which is the absurd, right? Which is like, you know, Javier Bardem's haircut in No Country for Old Men, right? Where you're like, it's clearly ridiculous, but it's not funny. It's just really unsettling that he presents that way.
And again, to correlate this back to Lorne's fellow angel of death, everywhere these psychopaths go, destruction follows.
He likes to see if he can take that civilized man and turn him into an animal.
I'd call it animal, except animals only kill for food.
This, in essence, is what the cold open tells us, until, at a certain point of the runtime, an unlikely hero says that's enough.
Hopefully what I'm doing is I'm making something unpredictable that in the end feels inevitable.
This is a thematic staple within Joel and Ethan's screenplays.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
They begin after the peace is disturbed, and they end once the facade of control is relinquished.
I just don't understand it.
For instance, even though this divisive scene in No Country was adapted from the book, the sudden off-screen subtraction of Josh Brolin's Llewellyn Moss represents Joel and Ethan's refreshing, anticlimactic resolution within their storytelling.
The world is a horrible, unforgiving, and capricious place, and it doesn't, conform to one's expectations or certainly, genre conventions.
It's a fantasy land that reflects the American dream where court jesters could be kings, crowned by the historical oversight that empires fall.
What the hell are you talking about?
It proves we can't ever really know what's going on.
To put it another way, idiocy set right by irony. Divine intervention bookending a crime and/or spending spree.
Can't stop what's coming.
And this structural, stylistic trajectory is guided by offbeat humor that often makes you question reality with a nervous chuckle. And speaking of questions...
What does that mean? Beats me.
Joel and Ethan certainly raised them throughout their stories.
What do we learn, Palmer? Hard to say.
But they do it without the ego that needs to answer every single one.
The best questions are far better than any answer.
Yet, when it's all said and done, after the credits roll, what consistently lingers is a universal truth about humanity. No matter how accustomed or seasoned someone is, everyone has a chink in their armor, and that Achilles heel is surprisal. Whether it's Bambi in the shadows or a mailman in the cabin, you can run, you could even hide, but not forever.
Couldn't face the music.
Because the color of greed will always turn red.
Where's the money?
And a heist, hell.
There's more to life than a little money,
And the same attributes and oddities could be said of Noah's long-form Fargo experiment.
In Fargo, it's always decency versus cynicism.
You're saying, what are you saying?
It's the best of America versus the worst of America. It's like, yes, we have problems, but look who's solving them.
You're such a super lady.
These are the type of finite details that can make a viewer pay more attention to the happenings.
You put all this together yourself?
And if by chance you do catch the seeds that the author plants, it'll pay you back with interest. And your cozy little watch party will bloom into a plentiful harvest.
End of story.
Now, in an example such as this where specificity reigns, waste is sparse. And this is yet another merciless reminder to every writer to cut the fat, keep it lean, and, I am sorry to say, kill your darlings. But if you choose otherwise,
You're just gonna get washed away.
you could just off most of your characters instead.